Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Ninja Warrior Podcast. Guys, for once, we aren't covering 4 fucking rounds. That is only because the show happened to go on hiatus because of the Olympics, and you know that. Yeah, we're not that good at this. Okay, so hopefully this episode is not going to be an hour and 23 minutes like last time. We really do apologize for that. We really didn't think we'd be on about 4 qualifying rounds for that long, but that's what happened.
Yeah, I didn't think we really had the energy for that, you know? Like, we actually, kept it up throughout, because the way we ended that was I took on half, David did the other half. And what I recognize is even I did the back half. And even though that we still kept our energy all the way through, and that shocks me beyond belief that we weren't just, dead and sick of it at that point.
I mean, funnily enough, that wasn't what happened. Yeah, but anyway, today we have a couple of things to talk about here. First off, there's some major ninja news for us to talk about, which will be the first part of this episode. But the main part of this episode and the main thing we're covering is the next episode of ANW 16, the first part of the semifinals. You guys, we're not going to be covering that right away. You guys can skip to a timestamp that Crystal will probably pop down the bottom. But there is something we need to talk about here, and it might be brief. It might take a while. But I want you guys' opinion on the fact that they're nuking Vegas.
Yeah, so should we go context? Should we just vent?
I don't feel like we're doing a lot of venting. It's just a new thing.
Yeah, this is what we call the reboot. You know?
I mean, it is more like that than the 17th season. I mean, my point is actually debating, not putting this in the normal season folder that I have and just popping in the Team Ninja folder.
I mean, it makes more sense, you know?
Yeah, alright, so let me just establish what's actually happening here. And all this information is from Ninja Wiki, which I believe we got it from a Twitter post, if I recall. I don't know for sure, because the wiki page itself says a social media post, so it could literally be Twitter, it could be Facebook, it could be anything. But, according to the Twitter post, which I think it probably is from the official channel, I would think. But, again, we don't know for sure. American Warrior 17 is technically confirmed to come out, which, releases all worries, but kind of makes the worst come true. The good things about this is that, it's going to be a celebration of American Ninja Warriors, past, present, and future. So, we're going to see favorite obstacles and competitors and all that stuff. So, it generally is going to feel more nostalgic and, you're going to feel more like a legacy-type season. And the qualifying and semifinal zones are returning to the normal format seen previously, which I can appreciate. However, as I mentioned, they're nuking Vegas. Mount Doriyama is no longer going to be a thing in this competition, and instead it's going to be a Ninja versus Ninja bracket kind of finale in Las Vegas with a $250,000 prize. I'm trying to determine if they did this to make a better season or because they really didn't have enough budget. Yeah, that's, generally the question here, is that the case? I'm also trying to determine, is this really a bad thing, too? Because, Midoriyama, if someone doesn't win it this season, if, Joe Mulaski or something like that, they'll never get another chance unless they get invited to Japan or something like that. But, honestly, I think we've hit the end of an era.
You are absolutely right when you say it's the end of an era, because this is literally the show's reboot. This is literally might as well be the show's swan song of the season. And honestly, it could be better, but it also could be worse.
Yeah, it kind of just, I don't know, it kind of just feels like a kind of a sad tale. It kind of just feels like, they were trying desperately so hard to make the season stick. And the fact that neither of them did is something. Yeah, it's I don't even know why they continue the show at that point. I mean, they're probably not even gonna advertise this as Mount Midoriyama Swan Song or anything. They'll give it any kind of a tribute or any kind of, a good send-off. They're probably just gonna act like, hey, it's gonna be here next year when it's not.
Absolutely. I mean, that would make so much sense to me. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense for me to them to like have the finale of the season be going on about how this is the last season Mama Doyama's gonna be on. Like, they're not gonna act like that. We know the show at this point. We know it too well. Hell, we covered it for 4 years.
Yeah, so here's the thing about this, and I think honestly the three of us did talk about this previously. This is a completely different show now, basically. Like, I don't know, this is a completely different show. Like, the Vegas Finals is what this show builds up to, and the fact that now it's building up to a Ninja versus Ninja style show, IO competition, it's, like we just said, a different show. American Ninja Warrior, despite all the radical changes, has always been about the quest for total victory. The quest for Khan and Seiya. It's always been what Sasuke's about. But you know what? I personally feel like it's just become all about the fucking prize money at this point.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of just been like that, like, ever since, season 11 when Drew won, you know? It kind of just felt like that was the only reason why you were still fighting for it.
Yeah, because, like, I know, like, the glory of total victory, you know, that is what they want, you know? And why so many people try for it, because they think they can do it. But a lot of competitors, the show specifically, kind of just acts like the money is the thing they want. When, again, it's the glory of Khan and Seiya. There's no spirit in that in the word total victory anymore.
Not really. It's like we would, during the Scrap Sasuke 41 podcast that we did a while back, and we might still do that, by the way, like, that's not off the table either.
Yeah, we've actually had talks where we actually really wanted to redo that podcast, so maybe after the season's over we might do that.
I actually think we should, because that alongside the Team Ninja podcast episode, I want to do both. Like, I think there's a lot of discussion we can add to that, even if it's several months after the tournament came out.
Yeah, but anyway, during that Scrap podcast episode, we were going on about the spirit of Ninja Warrior and how much honor how much honor ANW has lost compared to Sasuke. Where Sasuke still feels like, you know, the same show. And I really do think that altogether Sasuke will still outlive ANW, even though ANW was the byproduct of it ending. Hilariously enough. That's actually pretty funny, actually. It's just because it's a means to an end. Yeah, exactly, a means to an end. It's like that exact thing, actually. It's kind of just crazy to think about, you know, that Vegas isn't a thing anymore. They nuked Vegas. Yes.
You actually told me that you've been, like, spreading the news across, like, your ninja gym and stuff.
Yeah, I've just been like, did you hear they nuked Vegas? Like, I don't fucking give a shit anymore. And I don't know, I mean, I don't think, I'm not happy about it, because, like, no one, like, I won't get a chance to do Mount with Joeyama, you know, like, and so many other people won't either. Like, the only way to actually do Mount with Joeyama now is to get invited on the Sasuke, and that fucking sucks. Like, honestly, this whole thing has really made me debate if I even want to compete on the show anymore. Or if I just want to continue in the sport of ninja. Because I love the sport. Like, I have so much fun going to ninja every week. Going to the Hand of Ninja Academy every week. I have so much fun doing that. Yeah, because it's just the kind of thing that I love. I love being that athletic. Ever since I discovered ninja, I felt that that was my athletic calling. For the most part, because I kind of hate other sports. But, like, in terms of the actual show, like, it's become so corporate that, like, this is no longer the show I want to be on. Like, the show I wanted to be on was seasons 8 through, let's say, 11 of this show. When it was, like, a tour across America. It really felt like the greatest competition to ever hit the country. At least to me. And generally it felt like this big old grand thing. But, since the pandemic hit, you know, they've been filming in one location and the seasons feel cheaper and cheaper. And, like, I don't think season 13 felt that way. I think a lot of us kind of just thought that, like, they did their best with what they were allowed to do because it was still COVID. It was 2021, like, we all understood back then. Even ANW 14 to a certain extent, like you had to be vaccinated to be on that season. I get that, you know. They probably just did that safety more than anything. But in season 15, it really did feel like they were doing the one qualifier, the semifinal, all that stuff because of budget and because they desperately were trying to get the season to be more successful than previous, which is why they did stuff like saying that they would be a winner. That way they to create like anticipation for it and not just anticipation for the possibility of a winner. That's probably why they did that in retrospect. It's still not okay, like I said in my video and like we said back then, but that's what it kind of has turned into. It's turned very corporate as of late.
I think it's been like that since we started covering it. Like, honestly, we never got the chance to cover it during its golden age. Like, I would say it's golden age, just to be clarified, it's probably ANW 6 to 11, you know, that stretch of time. We had 2 winners, we had a whole era go by, so many course designs, and so many cool obstacles, like that by and large, that is the modern ANW era, and it ended with Drew Dressel's victory in season 11. It really did feel like that, too. In this new era where the teenagers are coming in and dominating the competition, like, it truly did feel like a completely different show from that point on because it was just like merging with the younger generation and totally allowing them to dominate. And to me, it's also always felt like season 12 was a transitional season for that, you know?
Actually, yeah, that whole transitional topic, season 12 kind of is like that because it just kind of, it was a different competition. And well, yes, it was compensating for the pandemic. It was still, it felt like in between, getting used to filming in one location, you know, the lack of several qualifiers and having a lower scale competition, like, that's what these previous seasons have kind of felt like. Like, we've talked about it too, like, the qualifiers and semis have been so boring over the last 2 years. They weren't really, like, interesting. I think season 13 did a decent enough job of keeping us entertained up to that point, because we did cover every episode, and we were really good at being on schedule for that. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but, like, we all had a routine where we'd get together the night after the episode, the Saturday after the episode aired, and then Crystal or David, depending on who decided to do it, would edit it on Sunday and then release it on Monday. Like, we had that system built the entirety of ANW 13, and we only lost it once ANW Junior started, and then during ANW 14, you know, we just weren't fast enough, and by the time we were even ready, like, the show was already in the semis by that point.
Yeah, like, it kind of is like that, you know, it just feels so much like a different show now. I think that's honestly the point I think we're trying to make it. It's a different show.
Yeah, and just talking about it here, like, it does make me think about, like, can we even cover this season of Ninja the way the others are?
I mean, technically speaking, we can, but, like, it's a different show, like we just said. Like, it's not the same show we've been covering for all these different years, so honestly, that's why, like, I think, this is not set in stone, but we are honestly debating, like, doing a different version of the podcast from here on out, just because the season is different.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, like, generally speaking with the podcast, like, I enjoy doing it with you guys. And I do think recording it is genuinely fun. I think, well, I guess editing it is sometimes a chore, or especially when I have to do it, right? Because most of the Crystal does it, and she says she enjoys it, but usually whenever I edit, it feels like a chore because it just takes so long.
Yeah, it does take a while. Like, I'll be honest, I have to edit, I edit most of your stuff, but, like, honestly, the gaming headband stuff, I have so much fun editing that, even if it's from, like, 2 years ago at this point, when it was filmed. But, like, in general, this feels so different, too. Like, and just watching a podcast episode, it does feel like a slug, because we're talking about the same things over and over again. And while, yes, we have some kind of core banter from time to time, it kind of just feels like we're just talking about one after one after one at that point.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of pointing it. And, another thing to note, too, like, hilariously enough, we were gonna record this yesterday, but for some reason, was it 2 days ago?
Would have been, yeah, I think it was 2 days ago, actually. Because you wanted to,
Yeah, actually, you're right, yeah. But I wanted to record this 2 days ago, but I did not feel like it. But weirdly enough, I felt like recording the Stage 3 retrospective that day. Wait, that's what you recorded? You said you recorded something and you won't believe what it is in our DMs. Yeah, because we have a podcast group chat. And that's what I said, and I didn't say what it was. I think I should have. But yeah, I seriously decided to record the Stage 3 retrospective on that day instead. And I don't know why my brain felt like doing that of all things. But that's what I did. I recorded the entire video. It's a long video. I can't wait to edit it in like a couple months here. But like those are the kinds of videos I want to make about Ninja Warrior. Talking about the show's legacy, talking about the show's time. My brain kind of has been feeling that way since season 15 started, and like, I think we're going to keep on thinking about it. We probably won't give you guys an answer to this till the finale of the podcast. I mean, not the finale, but like, when we talk about the season finale of season 16, because then, by that point, I think we'll have a definite answer on it. But, like, I feel like all three of us have kind of just come to the conclusion that, like, we want to talk about ANW, but we don't want to talk about the current seasons of ANW. We want to talk about the legacy and the time it's had.
yeah, like, when you started branching out and doing solo discussion videos, like, those are all about, like, history of, like, certain obstacles and certain times, especially the Vegas retrospective. But, like, the podcast episodes, like, they're such a drag to cover because they're all about the current episodes of the show, and they're just like,
Yeah, so, like, I don't know, again, like we just said, we'll probably have an answer about this, like, way in the far future. Once the Vegas finale airs, we'll probably, I'll probably have a section of that video talking about the future. And there, we might have an answer for you guys. We're not exactly sure. We'll keep on talking about it because just this is an important decision for the three of us to make, not only for the channel but also for all three of our futures. Because I don't know if you guys recognize this, but like all three of us are becoming adults, and like Crystal's already an adult. Like the three of us, like I'm not sure how much time we're gonna have to even do YouTube as a whole.
yeah, like, I still want to do YouTube, but, like, I get what you're saying, like, these long-form discussion videos where we all get together and do this kind of stuff, like, that's going to become so much harder to do when we all just become busy. Like, it's the middle of the summer, but, like, when we all become busy with school and shit, that's when it becomes harder, and it's become even harder because all three of us are becoming adults.
Yeah, because me and John, we are entering our senior year, and Crystal graduated back in June. Like, that's the situation we are in right now, because Crystal's a year older than us.
Yeah, but you know what? I think we've been on this a little long, don't you think?
20 minutes, yeah, I guess so. Alright, you know what? I think you're probably right on this. We can move on, I don't think we need to make this the entire episode, but I kind of just want to dedicate at least some time to it. Like I said before, it could have been brief, but it likely was going to be long, and it turned out to be long. We just turned out to have a lot to say about it, which I don't think I'm surprised about. I think this dissolved from being an ANW 17 talk and turned into an ANW, the future of the Leo 2-for-1 channel talk. Yeah, hilariously enough, I think that is what this just turned into. Alright, look, like I just said, I'll probably come up with you, we'll probably give you guys a whole update on the situation when the season finale airs, because that'd be appropriate, because that's generally when we'll announce our future plans. But honestly, I think, we've been dawdling a little bit. Let's just talk about this episode and get it over with, because that's what this episode, today's recording is all about, getting the first semifinals, which, I'll be honest, it wasn't a bad episode, I don't think. It was just kind of the same stereotypical okayness that the rest of the show has have since it started. Since season 16 started, excuse me.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. That's kind of the way this goes. But legitimately, Yeah, the show has been that okay lately. Like, all the episodes they've been running together in our minds, it doesn't feel like much of anything. This is why we were just having a discussion.
Yeah. So, anyway. The first semifinals episode, this covers the first 2 rounds of the semis, which, yeah, I think we could just start off with the obstacle lineup for these 2 rounds. It started off, we had home one, the flying shelf grab, the wing nuts, sideways, and then spin hopper and the rope climb. Generally speaking, and yeah, unfortunately, like I said, it's the one-off courses are extremely lame and stupid and extremely badly designed. I've been over this, we've been over this, we can move on.
Are you just saying the obstacles for the sake of saying it at that point then?
Yeah, I am saying the obstacles for the sake of saying it at that point then. I don't even know anymore. I'm just doing this because I don't even know.
You're just dying. Like, we don't even know anymore.
Yeah, we don't know. It's just, we don't know. Alright, but anyway, let's get into it. The first matchup was between Max Feinberg and Ethan Gordowski. And as ANW loves doing with tragic stories, they told them for like the 5th time here. At least.
I think it's like the 2nd time. Like, I think it's the 3rd time for both stories, right? Right?
I'm pretty sure Feinberg's story about his mom being a breast cancer survivor, which that was told twice during season 13. This would be the 3rd time. And then Gordowski, obviously, we talked about earlier, a couple episodes ago, as he's told his story twice now. And now this is technically the 3rd time, but like, both of these segments are much shorter and thus a little bit more bearable, but they still tell the same thing. They don't do anything different. It's like, I don't even know anymore. It's like they were, I guess, trying to establish who they were, but it's like we already know at this point.
Yeah, basically. But anyway, this was still a really good matchup between a top ninja veteran and an up-and-coming rookie, or an up-and-coming ninja. And honestly, yeah, it was kind of close. And I do mean kind of. Max Feinberg was really behind for most of this.
Yeah, I kind of felt like Max Feinberg was kind of like expecting Ethan to mess up or like make a mistake because he was behind throughout this entire thing, and Ethan just kept on pulling ahead. And Max did end up getting lucky because Ethan did end up falling on Spin Hopper, unexpectedly enough, and Max Feinberg was able to hit the buzzer and go to Vegas. So good for him on that.
Yeah, it's like that isn't really all there is to say about that way, Sandy. It's just that.
Yeah, so after that we had Emily Kino versus Violet Capot. Versus Violet Capot. This race wasn't really all that special. I don't think did either of them even have a story, like a segment at all.
I don't think so. No, neither got a segment. Yeah, it was just kind of they just aired the race where well, both fell on Spin Hopper, and Violet got there first, and even got further on the obstacle too, so she ended up winning. And I'll be honest too, like, she made a really good effort to try to, clear that obstacle as well. She was really trying to.
Yeah, because it's kind of an even game, you have no idea of the other girl's skills at that. Well, you have no idea of the other competitor's skills at that point. Yeah, definitely. So it's just that was Violet won. After that, we had the first fast-forwarded race between, once again, Cam Baumgartner and Nathan Green. Admittedly enough, I don't think this was going to be much of an entertaining race, but Cam Baumgartner, man, at this point, he really needs some justice.
He's not, I feel like he should be showing during Vegas. Like, give him some real fucking credit or something,
Yeah, that I think that's all we have to say on that one. It's just Cam Baumgartner. Give him some justice.
Yeah, exactly.
So after that, we had Jackson Choi and Marquez Green as the next shown matchup. This segment was actually kind of entertaining because him and Marquez and Jackson Choi, Marquez and Nathan, they've been coached by Jackson over the last, I think, probably year at this point. And they've been living with him and stuff. So it's kind of like a student versus teacher kind of thing. I just kind of like the dynamic they were kind of presenting during the segment, so it was actually kind of entertaining.
Yeah, honestly, I think at this point, this was actually somewhat entertaining. The winner, Jackson ended up winning due to the fact that he hit the buzzer before Marquez, and Marquez even fell on spin hopper, so it really didn't matter at that point. Yeah, and after that, we had the next matchup between Annabelle Heinrichs and Wiley Porter.
Yeah, this was, Annabelle did get a segment about the fact that she wants to become a hairstylist, which I do think is pretty, which I did think the segment was kind of dynamic, but, like, it's not much of anything.
Most ANW segments are not much of anything, dude.
Well, this is another one of them.
Don't even deny it!
I'm not, why would I? We've been here all fucking day, yo. We've been here doing that for a while now.
Yeah, basically. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong.
Anyway, so 2 made all the way to Sideways, where Wiley ended up falling, and Annabelle ended up clearing the obstacle, meaning she ended up winning inning. Though she fell on spin hoppers, she still was moving on to Vegas, and honestly, good on her, you know? She was one of the up-and-coming rookies from season 14. I think she got a nomination with us at the Stage 5 Ninja Awards, you know, for that season, so I'm kind of glad that, like, the cap of her ninja career is going to be this, getting to Vegas for the first time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everyone who makes it to Vegas, really, it isn't this season in particular, and that's being the first season, that's an honor, because that's the only time ever trying Mount Toriyama, ever trying to even give a challenge.
Yeah, like, I feel like when we get to stage 1, like, we're gonna spend the entire time just, like, being like, yeah, they never got a chance to really show themselves on the Vegas stage, you know?
Yeah, you know, like, people like Taylor Green, you know, like, if she doesn't clear stage 1, or if we don't get a woman to clear stage 1, like, that's just gonna be that. Like, that's just really unfortunate, you know?
Yeah, definitely. After that, we had Mike Salinci and David Tomzamani. If I did say that way, I think I did. I think I did get it right this time around.
I don't remember. Did you get it wrong last time?
I feel like I might have, but I just don't remember. Anyway... this was kind of a surprising race, as David Tomzamani was much faster than Mike Salinci throughout the course, and then Mike Salinci ended up falling on spin hopper, meaning that David ended up getting the win. Honestly, just a surprise, like I just said.
Yeah, mostly just because Salinci is a veteran, but you know what? Good on Tomzamani. I think he's a rookie. Good on him for, like, being able to beat one of the top veterans.
Definitely. Anyway, moving on, we have Luke Beckstrand and Drew Nestor in the same fast-forward segment. This race was, a little less remarkable because, we had, Drew Nestor fell on sideways and Luke ended up clearing and winning. He did not clear the course. He fell on spin hopper, though it wasn't actually shown by the show. Him falling there kind of just cut afterwards. But yeah, it is revealed by the show's leaderboard at the end. That's where he fell, but he still moved on because he was the winner. After that, we have the next shown one, that being Kai Beckstrand and Jesse Maurer. Despite the fact this was another one of those, you know, landslide type victories, honestly, I think this was actually kind of an entertaining segment. And I think they actually made Maurer, like, kind of an interesting underdog in this race, too.
Oh, yeah, like, they usually go terrible with segments like this, so it's just all about them being, like, I don't know, so, Mao had a segment about him being a father to 2, children who, were thrown up in the child services due to some matters we weren't told of. But, you know, it was just kind of a sweet story of him, like, fostering these 2 children with mental difficulties, and, yeah, honestly, it felt a lot more interesting than his first story on the show of him just being a normal guy. So, honestly, yeah, and I kind of like it too. He was kind of saying, like, Kai Beckstrand, don't embarrass me while on this. I mean, you know he's just in the one circles around him, but Maurer did put up a decent effort because he made it through the majority of the course and almost cleared it too.
Yeah, he fell at the very, very, very end of spin hopper on the final bar, but he really put his all into it to try to clear. And while yes, I'm pretty sure he would have been way too slow to be in the top 2 because both the top 2 were finishers. Still, like, in general, it was actually kind of entertaining. I really did enjoy seeing him, even if it was just, you know, a really close fall. It was a really close, and it was definitely just really close, entertaining, yeah.
Although, like, you kept on repeating the words used to describe it.
Well, what else am I supposed to say, alright? I think I honestly have a habit of, like, dragging things on way too long, so I'm trying to find different things to say, and I just end up saying the same things. So you're just like me, adding no value to the conversation.
At least you're honest!
You are so rude.
That's what we are, you're rude.
We kind of call ourselves the Rude People's Podcast, you know? Because we just kind of all rude to each other.
I mean, generally speaking, if I'm being honest, David is kind of like that as a person. He has a very tough love, like, kind of, you know, bond with his friends. At least with us specifically.
Oh, I'm like that with everyone. Like you just said, I'm like that with everyone. Like, people who are close to me know that, like, the way I treat them is, like, I often just, like, nudge people. I am very much the kind of person who enjoys giving kind of a tough love. You know? I'd rather do that than, like, be, like, I'm totally affectionate sometimes. But, like, I kind of enjoy having that kind of relationship with people because it feels like we're both on the same page and it feels like we're both allowed to make those kinds of jokes at each other. So it feels kind of consensual in that way. I like that.
Yeah, moving on from this race, we have Levi Enright and Tyler Yamauchi in the next fast forward segment. This race was honestly nothing really to go on about, as Tyler fell on spin hopper and Levi ended up hitting a buzzer. And after that, we had Chris Balance and Glenn Albright in the next fast forward segment. Chris went in circles over Glenn Albright, who ended up falling on sideways, and Chris ended up clearing. And then after that, we had kind of one of the biggest surprises of the entire episode, in my opinion.
Yeah, we had Ben Balance versus Colston Scusser. Colston we briefly covered doing, Colton, excuse me. I'm feeling Colston, my god.
There was no S in there.
Yeah, clearly. I now see that, but, like, seriously. But anyway, so this was kind of a surprise, as Colton, he was a Wookiee. He was generally someone we, would not have been able to find a picture of if he wasn't shown in the semifinals episode, because by the time we covered him, you know, that was what was happening. But, like, I legit had to look there for a picture of him that was on the course. But anyway, Colton ended up having a real advantage over Ben, and was going over just much faster. And I don't know if it was just because of his height and stuff, but, like, Colton actually won.
Yeah, well, both competitors did finish the course, and Ben, I believe, moved on to Vegas as one of the top two non-winners. Colton put up a pretty good fight, and I'm pretty sure he was actually in the safety pass race too. He's pretty close.
He was not, but, like, he was, like, the third fastest time of the night, I think. Somewhere around there. Like, he finished in under a minute, so it was really fast, but nothing was gonna be fucking Kai Beckstrom in 36 seconds.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, we were shocked last year when, like, RJ Roman did, 45 seconds during his safety pass race. Like, this was honestly nothing compared to that.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. After that, we had Caden Lepsek and Eric Middleton in a fast-forward segment.
Yeah, this was probably one of the most unfortunate matchups we saw. Eric's one at the big time. Eric is definitely someone that I would love to see move on just because of his own finesse and personality. He's just good to see. Just the way he challenges Man Up, but this round was honestly unfortunate because Caden, he's so much faster than Eric. So like, Caden just blazed through the course in 50 seconds. Well, Eric was kind of left behind. Eric still finished, but he was not even fast enough to be a non-winner here.
Yeah, I think it's the first time where you someone hit a buzzer but didn't move on in one of these matchups.
Something like that, yeah, I think so. But anyway, so yeah, but that Caden Lepsek was set to be in the one-off matchups and in the safety house matchup, and yeah, we were getting a repeat. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think we can talk more about that as when we get there, right?
I guess, yeah, it would be better if we just talk about it then. I'm like jumping ship here because that's some more interesting ways to a certain degree, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Next matchup was between Taylor Green and Judith Carroll. We actually did get an answer about the whole Judith Carroll situation in this matchup, where they mentioned she is dual citizenship, which kind of makes it a similar situation to Tim Sheffield back when, where that's why he was able to compete on ANW despite being British. That kind of just explains the things. And then kind of devalues What thoughts about it that we made last time around? We were talking about her and how she competes on both. Judith did give Taylor one for money because the two were pretty close. Not super duper, but pretty close. Judith ended up falling on Spin Hopper, and Taylor got there first. She ended up getting the win. Taylor still fell inside on Spin Hopper, where the course really made her too tired, and she couldn't clear it fully, though she came super duper close. She ended up being knocked out there. And honestly, I find it really interesting that, like, they've been doing that with Taylor, even saying, like, she made, like, history, being the first woman to hit 2 buzzers, going into Vegas for their first season. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, you're really pushing the whole history market there.
I mean, they were doing that too with the whole Ben Balance and Scott Balance thing, but you got a point. They really are pushing it with that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. After that, we had Jonathan Matoya versus Scott Balance in the next show in Vegas. This was actually quite the entertaining one as well, because we had a segment between the two of them where they were kind of comparing the fact that, Jonathan's a classy ninja, always wearing a suit, while Scott is the exact opposite, wearing a t-shirt on the course. Honestly, I think it's just kind of funny the way they played that up.
Yeah, I guess a little. I don't think I have much of an opinion on it, weirdly enough. It's just something. Like most segments on the show at this point. But the main thing to talk about here is, the race itself, where Jonathan Matoya was much faster, ended up clearing the entire course, getting revenge, and clearing the entire course and getting back to Vegas after missing out last year. Huge comeback for him, and I'm very happy for him as well.
Yeah, definitely. Scott ended up falling in Spin Hopper, so he was not able to move on. After that, we had the next fast forward segment and the final one for the first part of the night, for the first semifinal of the night. We had Maddie Howard versus Jaylene Bennett, where Jaylene ended up falling on Spin Hopper and Maddie ended up clearing it and winning, though she... Oh, wait, hold on.
Sideways.
Right, Jaylene fell on sideways and Maddie ended up clearing it, but she fell on Spin Hopper. I was trying to, formulate it in my head. And then we had the final shown matchup of the night, which was actually kind of interesting. Austin Gray versus Bailey Boyd. Yeah, honestly, this is one of the more shocking ones because, I find it funny that, that Bailey Boyd was actually able to keep up with Austin somewhat. Way more than I expected him to.
Yeah, this is the kind of whistle you expected it to be a blowout, but no, Bailey was actually able to keep him closest with Austin. It is that he was one of the 2 non-winners, so he ended up moving on to Vegas despite the fact that he lost, which was pretty good for him. Last year we were kind of discrediting him for being just this random father who doesn't deserve Showtime. I guess we were a bit wrong on that.
I guess. I guess we'll kind of have to see how he does in Vegas at that point then.
Yeah, I think that would be the best way to show a verdict. Yeah, after that, we have the safety pass matchup between Caden and Kai Beckstrand.
Yeah, so, again, this was a rematch from last year. They really are doing the thing of propping up Caden as, the person who's quote-unquote has only fallen once, which stage 4 counts as falling. I don't know why they don't think that.
Yeah, I don't know, it's so weird that they've been pushing it like that. It really is pushing the definition. I should have fallen on an obstacle. Stage 4 still counts, even if you time out.
Yeah, definitely. So, they need to stop saying that Caden has just never fallen. That's kind of just what we're saying here.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, on to the race here. This was pretty close, just like last year, but similar to last year as well. It came down to one backswing from Caden. Came down to one extra backswing, this time from Caden and not from Kai. And because of that, Kai was able to blaze through the course much faster than Caden. And Kai even ended up beating his time from the previous round with 34 seconds.
Yeah, and I'm also pretty sure that both of these guys ran the same course 3 times because both of them had 2 seeding races. Because both of them had a seeding race on this course. Because both of them had the safety pass race from last season on this course, and then literally maybe a day or 2 later, they ran again as a part of season 16, where they ran on this course twice.
Yeah, it's like, what a weird. I honestly just thought we would have saw Spin Hopper. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I thought we would have saw Slingshot in these matchups, but no, we didn't see that.
Yeah, no. After that, no. So, yeah, that led Kai Beckstrand to be the winner and get the safety pass. So it is definitely a role reversal for sure, and kind of a surprise a little bit, but like they really did go all out and against each other.
Yeah, and honestly, I could see Kai Beckstrand being like going super far this season.
Yeah, I feel like he'd probably go all the way to stage 3 if I had to give like a number here, because like he's really good. He's definitely suited for the racing on stage 2. So as long as he doesn't make a stupid mistake on stage 1, excuse me, 2 stupid mistakes on stage 1, he should be okay. And generally, that safety, gives him even more clearance because, gives him extra, safety on stage 1 specifically. And I don't think he's gonna use the safety pass. Weirder things have happened. So honestly, it's kind of just say we'll see what happens kind of thing.
Yeah, but we're not done tonight. We still have one more round to talk about. We saw the second half of this episode, the semifinal 2, which started off with a matchup between Addie Herman and Brittany Durant.
Yeah, so some of the safety pass matchup we just talked about, this was also a rematch from last season, which is really fucking coincidental.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I honestly feel like they might have staged that, but like, I see no point in staging something like that, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah, this seems a little weird they would say something like that. But this was kind of a landslide, kind of between Addie Herman, kind of ran circles, and when Brittany ended up falling on sideways. And Addie ended up actually clearing the course, getting revenge over last year, where she got ever so close to clearing, but failed. Yeah, so definitely get to see her back in Vegas, one last shot at getting a buzzer on stage 1. I'm excited for that. I really hope she gets that, because no one needs her last shot. I also really want to see a woman clear, especially now more than ever, because of that.
Yeah, after that we had Noah Munier and John Uga in a fast forward segment. Noah ended up winning on Uga ended up falling on sideways, giving Noah the win, and he got the the third fastest time of the night. And after that we had Taylor Johnson and Emily Gardner in the same fast forward segment.
Yeah, so the winner of this matchup was Taylor Johnson, where Emily ended up falling on sideways, and Taylor did fall there as well, but she got there first. She ended up winning, as we just said. And after that, we had the next shown one, that being Kevin Rodriguez and Verdale Benson. And honestly, I gotta say, this segment was actually quite interesting, and they gave more specifically Kevin. Yeah, they had a segment where they talked about the fact that Kevin, Noah, and trying to figure out the other guy's name.
Luke Dillon.
They all have the same kind of hair, and they were just talking about how like their girlfriends are like confusing who is who, and it's all because they go to the same hairstylist, Kevin's mother. And like, I gotta wonder, does he get a family discount?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I'd be a bit jealous. Like they have to pay a full sum, but yeah, like he gets family discount. It's funny.
Yeah, it was actually kind of entertaining, as we just said. The race itself, it was not really all that close, unfortunately, because Verdale fell on sideways and Kevin ended up speeding past him. Kevin, surprisingly enough, fell on spin hopper, which just happened. I honestly wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, but he still got the win. And after that, we had probably one of the most unfortunate matchups we saw in the second round. Probably like the second most unfortunate. Right behind the one that's literally recovering afterwards. Jay Lewis versus Jamie Wan.
Yeah, I've said this piece several times here. Juan is my favorite ninja, but like I really like Lewis as well. And like I was so sure Lewis was gonna win, but like I hope like Juan could get one of the non-winner spots. But unfortunately, Juan ended up falling on a spin hopper, ended up not moving on, meaning he never got a chance to beat stage 2. His wish never came true. I'm very upset about that.
Yeah, he was really close. I mean, he's one of those ninjas who has such a legacy in Vegas. He has such a legacy in general. Like, honestly, he's probably one of the most famous just because of his whole showmanship and the way he is. Like, it just kind of sucks that, like, old age kind of did catch up to him a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Juan's one of those ninjas that I really wish got more showtime. He's one of my personal favorites, too, just like John said before, just because of his antics and whatnot. I've always liked those types of ninjas. He was kind of the last one still sticking with it, and it's clear he still enjoys the sport. I personally have always wanted to meet him just because, like, he's one of the ninjas who always inspired me to do the sport, because I just, honestly, he's just that cool to me. Like, no competitor is like Jimmy Wan to me, funnily enough.
Yeah, it's like, like, there's other ninjas like Joe Mawaski and Danny Will and stuff like that, but none of them have, like, the, this, trying to think of the word, like, uniqueness, I guess, that Jamie Wan always had, because one of those costume ninjas, but he's actually, like, good, too. It just kind of sucks that, like, he's another one of those ninjas that was kind of just, like, swept away by the newer generation.
Yeah, and it just turned out to be kind of just a bad year for Jamie overall, which kind of sucked because, again, like, it was really his last shot to get to Vegas, like, literally, and clear stage 2. I mean, yeah.
I mean, if I'm being completely honest, though, I think it would have been very unlikely for him to, move on, like, wasting on stage 3, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Admittedly enough, you have a point. It was probably very unlikely that he'd be able to go to stage 3 even in that stake, because whoever he was going to be matched up with was going to be super duper fast, and I'm not sure if he can really keep up with it. But, like, at least him giving the shot would have been really nice to see, because we haven't seen him on stage 2 since season 10, unfortunately.
Yeah, but you know what? It's fine. It's, like, really good. He's had a really good legacy on the show, and even if he keeps on competing, like, I think it's just amazing to see.
Yeah, and I guess we could also talk about it, too, I guess, like, that also kind of goes into a citation the fact that, this whole ninja versus ninja kind of style the show's going to be going with for next season. It kind of just means that the teams are going to dominate even more than they were previously.
Yeah, it's a whole go fast or go home totally now, and, like, ninja versus ninja, I'm really curious to see how the ninjas, like, aside ninjas like, what's it, Campbell, Juan, Brian, Gil, like, I'm trying to, like, all those ninjas who are, like, I guess, like, not Gil, no, I don't think Gil's really in that category, but, like, in general, like, how they're all going to adapt to the fact that they have to go fast in order to even have a shot at winning the next season.
Yeah, definitely. I really hope that, and like we've said before, Gil's definitely someone I'm pushing to win. I think even now more than ever, like, during my video on ANW 16 before it came out, when I was to talk about the 10 things that I'd like to see doing it, and the 10 problems that need to be fixed and stuff like that. I said that I didn't really want a winner. Now, it's kind of could be either or, either A, it's going to be Vegas's last stand to try to push the ninjas back, or B, it's going to be one final swan song where one final ninja is able to win it. And honestly, well, yes, because it's going to be a 2 years in a row kind of thing at that point, I am still not really going to be happy if it's someone like Vance Walker. I think it'd be, well, actually, no.
A double total victory, like, that'd be something.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have it be, like I said, someone who's had a big story on the show, like, Mawaski, Sean Bryan, Gil, all those types of ninjas. Those are the people I'd want to win. And, just, yeah, it's, again, like we've said a couple times here, we're probably going to keep on saying it, especially in Stage 1. Generally, just the fact that this is the last shot to really do what they've trained to do, and get the top one Doriyama. Like, that's what they've always trained to do, and this is all of their last shots, so they have to give it their all.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. And I think this feels like the stakes are so much higher going into Vegas, because we all know that it's going to be the last time we're ever going to see it.
Yeah, I think that you're honestly making that point very clear. But, yeah, we kind of just stopped talking about the waist right there.
I knew we would. As I was recognizing the conversation was diverting them, I was like, we're not going to talk about the waist for like a minute or two, right?
Yeah, alright, so, I don't think we ever said it outright, but Jay Lewis did end up winning and clearing. He got the, I believe, the fastest time of the night, meaning that he was in the City Pass race up, which is even weirder because we all know that Jay Lachey got injured before Vegas last year, meaning that, because it was filmed in the same year, same story here, meaning his safety pass, as we got confirmed, was revoked, and instead of giving to Drew Nestor, instead of giving to the person who raced him, which we will get to in a second here, it was just straight up not given to anyone. It was just straight up just revoked.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. It's unfortunate to hear like you win that thing, and then like the person who wins it isn't able to use it, but it doesn't go to anyone else. Like, I honestly think it should have went to, Jay's opponent. Even in my opinion.
Yeah, and maybe it did, and like we'll see that person wearing it during Vegas. We might. Nothing was really confirmed about that, so we don't know for sure. We'll see in a couple of weeks when that airs. But I'm pretty sure that's what it meant.
Yeah, Ninja Wiki said like they revoked the safety pass, and that generally means that like they take it away. So I would assume that means that Lewis doesn't it's just gone entirely. But maybe we'll see on that.
Yeah, moving on. After that, we had Ramses Valdez and Brandon Singletary. Yep, these two are top veterans. Both of them, at least in the qualifier specifically. This was kind of surprising because Ramses ended up going out on sideways, where Brandon ended up getting the win. He ended up falling on spin hopper, but yeah, he got his first trip to Vegas. Honestly, I was just surprised more than anything.
Yeah, there was something Ramses because he did really well last year. After that, we had Jacob Ornstein versus Noah Bushel in the same fast forward segment. One cool thing about this segment is that Noah's one was cut in the qualifiers, and like the only picture of him that I was able to use for him during the episode was a very old picture from ANW Junior where he looked so young. Like seriously, he had such a baby face back then.
Yeah, so really glad to see his qualifying one shown. I kind of wish like that episode was produced beforehand, so I could have shown it, but it's fine. We just have archive of it. He faced up against Owenstein. It was kind of a stacked matchup. Noah ended up going out on sideways. Owenstein ended up clearing and winning. He ended up hitting the buzzer as well. And after that, we had quite the matchup: Sean Bryan versus David Campbell.
Yeah, this kind of feels a little bit staged, I won't lie, because these two are really good friends, both top veterans as well. Campbell's the most experienced ninja of all time, and now, in America specifically. And then Bryan, he's also one of the most experienced, also one of the most well-known, because he's been to stage 3 2 years in a row, and he's one of only, like, a couple of ninjas to get 4 buzzers in 2 years in a row. Like, he's one of only a couple to be able to do that.
Yeah, so honestly, this really does feel like Sean Bryan's last stand. This race, I kind of had the hope that like Campbell could once again push into the top 2, similar to Juan, because that's what he did last year. It definitely was a possibility. Bryan ended up speeding past him, ended up clearing, and then it was up to Campbell to try to earn his spot in Vegas, and unfortunately he ended up falling on spin hop, he did not move on, and Campbell's final say on Vegas is unfortunately, not another chance to clear stage 1, but honestly, still, what a career for him.
Oh, yeah, in Vegas? Yeah. In fact, honestly, Campbell's the kind of person I'm shocked was never invited back to Sasuke. Even during his older years, I still feel like he should be invited back. In some way.
Yeah, because it was like the Sasuke World Cup, where they invited people like O.J. Bowman and Joe Moloski to Sasuke for that competition. I really wish that like Campbell would get another shot at that, because like, I think he'd do really well on Sasuke. He's like a legacy type competitor. He's been on Sasuke before, as of 26 and 27, did really well. So I think it would just be really dream country to see him on there.
Yeah, I could see it. If they just want to recruit another American, put him on there. I mean, there's something that they recruited Gil. I think it's possible.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, they can't recruit someone like Vance, because I'm pretty sure the whole, Vance is not a minor. I was about to say the whole minor, flying a minor overseas might cause lawsuit issues, possibly. But, no, Vance is 18.
Yeah, they can fully do that. I honestly, don't sleep on it. Vance could easily be on Sasuke in a couple years and stuff.
Yeah, like, Vance isn't really the kind of person, like, who's, like, been talking about wanting to go on Sasuke or something like that, but, like, I can see it.
I mean, the fact that Drew Jeshua competed on Sasuke so many goddamn times, like, I don't know, I feel like they would want to get an American like that, where they just keep on shipping them over every year to compete on Sasuke. I hope we end up seeing them with, like, someone like Gil, because Gil did super well in his season. Because Gil did super well in his season of Sasuke, like, honestly, I'd love to see that.
definitely. What were we even talking about?
Sean Bryan versus David Campbell.
Right. So we covered that Sean Bryan won and Campbell fell. Right, and we went into a tangent. All right. After that, we had Casey Rothschild versus Sydney Yee. This was kind of just interesting because Casey was obviously the higher seed, but she ended up going out on sideways. And while yes, Sydney fell there too, she ended up calling the last obstacle first, the flying shelf grab, meaning that she ended up getting the win and it moved on to Vegas. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was just really cool, quite frankly.
After that, we had Josiah Papel and Guang Chui in the next fast forward segment. This was a blowout for Josiah as he ended up clearing, and then Guang Chui ended up going out on sideway, ended up going out on spin hopper, and then we had Matt Bradley versus Vincent Payne.
Yeah, so Matt Bradley got the third fastest time of the night in this one, and then Vincent Payne ended up getting despite being, I think, the lowest seed in this round at 24, he ended up being able to move on thanks to the two non-winners and being able to clear, spin hopper, but not be able to make the jump over to the rope climb. Technically speaking, he fell into 6 obstacle, which put him ahead of everyone else, allowing him to still move on to Vegas, which I believe that's his first time ever moving on, so good on him.
Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting to see in a fast forward. After that, we had Abby Kwok and JoJo Guabesic, if I did say that way. We actually, fun fact, we actually kind of debating how to actually say their name when we were just saw their one.
Yeah, I was like, how am I supposed to say that? So thank you for saying it for me.
No problem, dude. Even though I'm putting the show, I said it wrong too. Anyway, so Abby Kwok ended up winning this race. In the race as JoJo fell on the flying shelf grab, which was, I think, the earliest fall we saw in the night. And Abby continued to until she fell at the ability of the spin hopper. It was really close to the end. And after that, we had the next shown one, that being Gavin Obi and James Sanella.
Yeah, so this is one of another one of those surprising races. Well, Gavin got the usual ANW package of, I had a medical disease, this one being clones, which I couldn't tell you what that means. They didn't really explain it. But it kind of just means, they didn't really explain it, but it's a medical disease. ANW loves highlighting that. But surprisingly enough, Obi was one of those few ninjas who got a segment like that, but was still an actual really good ninja because he was actually giving James Sanella a real one for his money. Really, matching him neck for neck, and both of them were on, the pace for, one of the fastest times in the night.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, James ended up falling on spin hop, allowing Obi to win. Obi ended up clawing with just barely a second fastest time of the night. I don't think he really realized he was going that goddamn fast, because if he had a little bit of urgency, he could have beaten Lotus. By at least half a second.
Yeah, but instead he ended up not getting the fastest time of the night by half a second, but it really didn't matter. He was still in the safety pass matches, so we did see him later. After that, we had...
Just as a disclaimer for this next spot here, my next door neighbor is mowing his fucking lawn for the second time this week. So, yeah.
Is that really his deal?
Yes, it is! He mows his lawn every fucking week, and I don't get it. The grass is not even, somewhat tall. But yeah, so if you hear that in the background of our audio, that's sad. That's at least his fault, not ours.
Yeah, it's probably just gonna be muffled, but that's that. Moving on, the actual next race was Joe Messenger versus James McGrath. Another one of my favorite races from this night. Honestly, this night has a lot of really cool surprises. We had Joe Messenger, who ended up being, one of those ninjas who was top fan back in the day. He met James McGrath way back in, probably around 2013, around there.
Yeah, he had, we kind of just saw, how old everyone looked. It had to be 2013, because, Ryan Stratus, he has the short hair and the beard and stuff, it just was developing. Because before, back then, he still had the shaved face. He didn't really have the beard till season 6 and 7. And especially 8. And then, we saw Campbell. Campbell looks exactly the same.
Funnily enough, yeah, Campbell doesn't even have more hair back then. Campbell's never had hair.
Even back in like Sasuke 20, I think it was 22 that he got on ANC 4. He didn't even have hair then. Like seriously.
Yeah, but anyway, this matchup was actually really close with Messenger running ahead of McGrath throughout the entire thing, and hitting the buzzer and clearing. McGrath had quite the gutsy one too, trying to keep up, and he ended up being able to make it through Spin Hopper, like barely. And I mean barely. He almost popped off that final bar, but because he was able to hang on for the wit, hang on, and clear the course, he was able to move on as one of the two non-winners.
Yeah, honestly, good on you, man. Honestly, McGrath, you're probably the person I want to see clear stage 1 the most because you not only got Revenge of the Jumping Style last year, you're one of those ninjas that I know can go far. I want to see you make one final stand in Mount Maduro, even if it's just going out on a race on stage 2. That's something.
Yeah, McGrath was, he used to be one of the top competitors to win. Right now, he kind of is like, doesn't have the physique anymore. But, like, he's still one of the top veterans, and honestly, I want him to go out with a bang this upcoming year in Vegas.
Definitely, for sure. Anyway, moving on, we have, we have the next fast forward segment, that being Joe Mawaski versus David Fleming. This was honestly not much to cover, as Joe Mawaski blazed through the course in one of the fastest times of the night. Blazed through the course, clearing and getting his 31st buzzer. The show says 32nd, but don't let it fool you. They actually, as we mentioned last time, and I'm going to keep on correcting them because I find pride in doing that. I'm sure all three of us do at this point. They counted his qualifying from season 16 twice.
Yeah, Joey, it kind of also means something to me because, like, counting in this, counting in terms of referring to it, he actually has 29 as of before this filming, from when we counted. Meaning that his 30th had to be...
Oh, he finally stopped?
He finally stopped! Oh my god!
Why did you pause in your dialogue, dude?
Alright. What was I trying to say? I'm trying to really figure out the counting on this. And honestly, maybe I should have counted before this.
Yeah, you know what? I think maybe next time around during the stage one we can finally settle this whole Mawaski buzzer debate because I really want to know too. Because they keep on bringing it up and I'm just like, yeah.
I think they're wrong. I think it's 31, but you got a point. Like, it's kind of all mixed up. So, you know what? I'll have a definitive answer next time when we cover Joe Mawaski on stage 1. That won't even be next episode, that'll be episode afterwards.
Yeah, most likely. Unless we do semifinals and then stage 1, but I can't really see us doing that. That'd be a little much, honestly.
Yeah, I think we're just going to try to cover it as soon as possible and go from there. Anyway. Right, after that, we had the final shown matchup, that being Xavier Dancer versus Najee Richardson. This really did feel like Najee's last stand, because Najee was going fast, he was running ahead of Xavier throughout the entire course, until Spin Hopper, where he unfortunately made a mistake in the falling there, ending his ninja career as Xavier was able to clear the obstacle, and clear the course as well, ending Richardson's career at Ninja. Honestly, what a way to go out, man. What a way to go out.
Yeah, definitely. The Phoenix, it's why we didn't talk about him earlier. We would talk about the whole, the future of the sport and the last chance. Najee didn't get that chance. I mean, you know what? He still went out with a bang, I think, because he made a really good attempt to try to get himself into Vegas once more. And, I don't think he would have gotten any further than because of the whole surgery thing that was going on last year. That would probably still be an issue if he moved on. But you know what? I'm really glad that he gave it his all, and I hope he does well in acting, which was what he said he was going to do afterwards. So, honestly, good on you, man.
Yeah, I also hope, too, that, Richardson's still probably someone we'll see on the sidelines, too. So, it's not like we'll never see him again, just never see him on the course.
Yeah, he's, it's kind of like Travis Rosen, he's, trying to go out with a bang, and Williams Rosen, unfortunately, went out on, a really stupid balance obstacle. Still, it kind of just makes me reminisce about that, it feels very much like that.
Yeah, definitely. After that, we have, of course, the safety pass matchup, that being the final matchup of the night, that being Gavin Obi and Jayla Shea Lewis. This was, honestly, probably the best race we've seen so far. Yeah, definitely, because Gavin Obi, man, he really did stack up the Jayla Lachey, because the two of them were really on top of each other, and really going back and forth, and not necessarily in sync, but, they kept on catching up to each other, especially Obi. who just like kept on having to catch up to Lachey. But the separation came at Spin Hopper. Well, it came mainly at Spin Hopper, where Lachey was just faster at starting it. But Obi was really fast coming out, and then on the way down, he was super duper fast, almost catching up to Lachey. And what it came down to was one extra swing on the final bar. That ended up getting him knocked out. That ended up making him lose the race because gave Lachey just a wee bit of advantage because he was still a bit ahead. But if he cleared that, man, that would have been close.
It really was, man. Like, Obi, man, I did not think anything of you in the qualifiers, but, like, I want to see you in Vegas now, dude. Like, I thought he was done. I thought he was done.
Really? He just started again?
Yes! Okay, but I'm gonna wrap this up. I really want to see Obi in Vegas. I really do, because that one showed me that those last two ones showed me that he could be a real force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, definitely. Like, especially if he gets to stage 2 in the races, like, he definitely has an advantage there, being one of the top seeds here. Like, I think he definitely has an advantage over other ninjas, so it's really cool. Yeah, definitely. And, yeah, that wraps it up for this episode of ANW 16 and this episode of the podcast. Yeah, so, next time is going to be the second part of the semis, covering, I think, episodes 3 and 4, pretty sure. I'm going to be covering that and trying to get that out as soon as possible. The episode after this will probably be stage 1, parts 1 and 2, which will be a fucking nightmare to film. That's two hour-long episodes all at once. So we did it last year. We're going to try our hardest not to fall behind as much as we did last year with the whole finale, but we can't really promise it just because of the whole takes us a bit to get together and do these things. But we're going to try our hardest. I think it's likely we might fall behind, but we're going to try, like we said. Yeah, and afterwards, the season, the Stage 5 Ninja was for this season. And there's also the Sasuke World Cup as well, which I don't think we've even talked about, have we?
No, I didn't even bring it up. I completely, even though we were talking about Sasuke 41, I did not think of it, about this entire thing.
Yeah, so, I might release this part as a second video, just so you guys can know. But the World Cup, I really want to watch that and cover it here on the podcast. But the only way we can cover it is if we find a women. And I'll keep my eyes out because I'm still looking for that women's championship thing and stuff. So I'll keep my eyes out for it and find a way to watch it. As it's coming out on the 14th, literally the day ANW is coming back from hiatus from the Olympics. Sasuke's doing its episode, the World Cup, and I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, we're definitely be covering it after the season's over, no doubt.
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna take a break. During the hype of the Stage 5 Ninja Wars, we'll probably cover it then or something like that. I'm not really sure, but like, we're gonna be doing what we can to try to get that covered as well as Sasuke 41 again. And yeah, I'm excited to cover it if we're able to.
Yeah, okay, we need to whip up it, so maybe later on you can upload this part separately just so we can maybe get a whip.
Yeah, I plan to announce it on my community tab, like I did for Sasuke 41. That's how we got the copy that we did for the original version of the podcast. So it's kind of what I planted to do for that, just as an attempt to try to get a copy of it. But actually, as of recent news, I actually have found a whole bunch of Sasuke tournaments on the Internet Archive. So I might find it there too.
Wait, really? That's a random place for them to be.
Yeah, but they was just up there free for me to download, so I just grabbed them.
Oh my god. Now it's just gonna be like call to action, archive them, do that shit.
Yeah, they have nearly every Sasuke tournament but Sasuke 31. So, not 31, excuse me, 38. They only have a 360p version of that, which is the upload of the thing I already have from back when it was like uploaded to YouTube back when the tournament was new. So, yeah. That is actually kind of interesting, and I guess it means that we can, you can use Sasuke footage now too. Oh yeah, it's such a cool thing. Like, I am just really glad that I finally have easy access to Sasuke. Would be Sasuke 34, 36 through 41. Because we didn't really have good access to them, but now I have every tournament in good quality, aside from Sasuke 38. So it is like a really cool thing, the fact that I finally have that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, we will see us time for the 7th episode of ANW 16.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Peace.